Check 1 2. Jacob, just DM me if my mic sounds terrible at all. I just need to test real quick. Thank you. La la la. I'm gonna probably be talking to him about this volume, but I need to know if it sounds bad. I can see stream chat too, I believe. Hello.
Hello, my friend.
Okay, I'm here. I'm live right now.
Okay.
But I'm doing some audio testing. I need confirmation from Jacob that he can hear me.
Okay.
Okay. He told me not to move back and forth. My chair makes a noise. Alright. Let's see. There we go. Sounds more professional. Okay, I already tweeted the link out, as you know. So I'm just gonna wait until we're actually at 8:30 to start.
Okay.
Can Emily hear us? Is she gonna watch or anything?
She's gonna be sitting in.
What?
She's in the room here with me. Oh, just talking to Alex.
Hi, Emily. Do you want to take a look, Phillip, and see the setup I have for the stream? I have your Twitter up on a window.
Really? I don't know if I can. I'm on my iPad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
our internet got shut off. We didn't pay the bill.
Wait, then what are you using?
we're using my iPad.
Are you guys live?
Yeah, we are. Jacob's testing if I can get the notifications to turn off so it doesn't play his stupid sound anymore. Give me a second here. I'm going to keep trying to do that. There we go. Alright, Jacob, you are clear to try again. I turned off a message sound. Whenever you want. Ah, we got it.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Hopefully someone that isn't Emily is watching.
It's all right. I've done some Instagram lives, and I'm pretty sure I was just talking to myself. So it's all right.
I remember Justice did Instagram lives of his job, and I was always wondering why he would. Like, there's not really any reason to.
Yeah. Yeah, I would watch him too, actually.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I still can't see stream chat. What is going on? Hold up. There we go. Okay, I just posted the Discord link so other people can join if they want to do call-in questions, but I'm actually surprisingly nervous for being someone just sitting in my own room right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I am too, actually.
You only have to do this once, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. One last test, Radical Jacob, if you could please post in chat. I can only see my own messages, so I'm just trying to confirm. And then once that's done, I think we're good to go. So you're using your iPad as your mic?
Yeah.
It sounds surprisingly good.
Awesome.
Oh, okay. Emily posted in chat. All right, that works.
I can't. Am I able to see it, or where would I see it?
If you go to the Twitch channel, you could see the chat, but you'd probably want to do it on your phone or I can hold up. Let me try something. Actually, that was a really good question, Philip. Let me try something.
I am currently on Twitch.
Boom! I put the chat in the stream. There we go.
Okay.
So you should be able to see it soon.
I can actually see it.
On the stream or just in real life? Like on something?
I'm watching on Twitch.
See? Perfect.
I better turn off my notification tone. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Cool beans, man.
Okay, so some people are watching now, so I might as well start off. I want to welcome everybody, especially you, Philip, for coming on for this first episode of I Have Work in the Morning. I was inspired by the name because that's usually my reason that I don't play video games very late as much as I used to. Because I have a job and it sucks, but it's basically the way that it goes.
Yeah.
I want, like I said to you in private, but I'll say it now. I kind of want this podcast to be about the people that I interview, what makes them so special, why they're so important to others, why, basically like their skills, their talents, their uniqueness. I want to put that in the limelight. So I want to put your skills and talents and the interesting stories about you and your life, and to a lesser extent Emily's, obviously, out here. So first thing I want to ask you, Philip, just some if you want to go ahead, and if you could tell the audience or people who are listening and everything, how we know each other. That would be a good starting point, I guess.
Okay. Before I do that, I wanted to say that it crossed my mind to just troll you the entire time.
Uh-huh.
It crossed my mind. I'll be honest, it did. I think that'd be really funny, but it'd be mean, so I'm not gonna do it. But I'd like giving you like one word answers or being like super awkward. Anyways.
So I want to thank you for not doing that.
Okay, yeah, for sure. How we know each other. I have known you for a long time. Over 10 years, would you say? I think so.
Probably right at 10 years.
Okay. Yeah, so I met you at church. I don't remember when I first met you. Like for sure instance. You kind of just like teleported into my life. I think I did into yours too. It's very strange. Because like it's weird in general how you meet people, especially that you've known for a long time and you didn't meet at school, and it's like you just know them, like they're a whole entire being. They have their own eyes that they see the world through and thought processes and all this stuff, and then you are too. You don't know them, and then out of nowhere it's like they enter your dimension and you guys now know each other. Mm-hmm. Very strange. Anyways, so we met at church, I'm sure. We have gone on many what's called fireproof tours together. For those of you who don't know, we used to do this thing called fireproof tour where we would go out and do stuff. We'd go out and like play songs, people would preach. We'd do what's called human videos where you just kind of like act during a song or dance during a song. Anyways, so we did that through our churches. I was in Mendota, you were in Selma, and when we were teenagers, that's when we first started meeting each other. But that's when we met each other. But I really started hanging out with you and talking to you when I started attending church in Selma. So that's kind of how we met. Do you remember a specific time when we first met each other? Like you're like, oh yeah, this is for sure the first time I met you.
I can remember the earliest time that I ever met you for real would probably be the time that we went to Art Hop with your cousin and Oscar. Or that guy was your cousin or your friend? I always forget. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know. That's my cousin.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah. We went, and those guys fell on those bikes. Remember, they were trying to do tricks, and then they fell off their bikes. That was probably the first time I think we hung out as friends. But
oh, that's right. Remember, we were hanging. We went to a coffee shop or the Review or something like that. The Review, and it was still called the Review in Fresno, and we were walking, and there was this guy selling like random stuff. He had like hymnals, he had like pencils, and for some reason I bought a hymnal. Anyways, there was this guy. They were riding bikes next to each other, and they were kind of like doing tricks. Like one guy had like they both had those like mongoose bikes. I don't even know what you call them.
Kids
BMX.
bikes.
There it is. Yeah, BMX bikes, or what did you say?
I said kids bikes. It was a joke.
Yeah, pretty much kids bikes. One of them was a normal looking dude, and the other guy was also, I guess, normal looking dude, but he was really overweight. So he was doing like a handlebar spinning, and when he did that, his tire slipped from under him. He just ate the ground so hard. I remember we all just like walked away laughing. It was so funny. But that's right. Yeah, I think that might have been the first time we hung out.
Yeah, and then my earliest memory, I know it sounds kind of weird, but probably my earliest memory of being close friends with you would be that time that you played guitar for my baccalaureate. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
You saying "I Can Only Imagine."
Yeah, by
at your baccalaureate. You know what? I actually do have another memory, and it's a memory of I punked you kind of at Teen Talent Expo. Do you remember that?
No. Well, I mean, you punked me a million times, but I mean, what specific?
I don't know if I ever actually admitted this to you, but I think I told Castillo one time, and I feel so bad. So Discord or this podcast is going to be the first time I admit this to you. So it was an accident, but still funny. Anyways, we were backstage, and they were doing the male vocal solos, and one of my kids, or I guess not my kids, it was me actually. I was actually going up against you. And you were practicing with your friend. I'm not sure who it was, but you sang that song by
12 Stones.
12 Stones, yeah. You sang that song with 12 Stones. Anyways, your buddy's guitar was a little bit out of tune, and I could hear it. So I was like, "Hey, man, give me your guitar. I'll hook you up." So he gave it to me, and I tuned it, and I noticed that every single string was flat. And I was like, what the heck? Like, why is he good? Why would Alex let some guy play for him that doesn't even know how to tune his guitar? So I like tuned it perfectly for you guys. I was thinking I was hooking you up. So then you went up there and you were singing, "What kind of what?" Like you couldn't hit the notes. They were too high for you. And I was like, oh, I feel so bad for this guy. Anyways, so then I go out there and I just freaking kill it. I freaking slay the judges, dude. They were like worshiping me.
I'm so sure.
I'm messing around. Obviously. No, I'm kidding. But I ended up winning that one. That was the only one I ever won. But in any case, so later on, a few years later, like I obviously, like we do, we were making fun of each other, and they were making fun of you for playing that song. And for some reason, it clicked in my mind. They said that because you were cracking all the time, and I was like, wait, this kid had his guitar tuned a half step down. So your friend had the guitar tuned a half step down. But I, thinking I was helping you out, tuned your guitar to regular, just standard E tuning. So in me doing that, it made the key higher. And in doing that, it was out of the key that you practiced, that it was too high for you.
That makes total sense now after all these years.
After all these years, yeah, there it is. That's unconfirmed, by the way, but I'm like 87% sure that's what actually happened.
I want to give a shout out to Josh. Josh appearing in chat right now. Josh is here.
Oh, which Josh?
D's Josh, as in the Josh. Said word. Either way, so yeah, we've known each other for a long time. I would probably say, probably right after high school was the time that we became like really close friends. After my high school, I'm sorry, obviously. You're a little bit older than me. Started hanging
Yeah.
out at your house when Oscar asked me to host D&D for you guys, and you guys took it way too seriously.
Dude, I remember that. That was so tight.
You guys wore costumes to D&D, and then you got all hot 5 minutes in and took them off. And that was the most in-depth D&D game I ever played.
Yeah. Dude, it was so fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was tight.
So sorry.
We all didn't know how to play. So I know, like, now, I mean, I played a few games, and I've been a DM as well. So I was thinking back, and I was like, man, you must have been having like an aneurysm the entire time we were just playing.
Almost an
Yeah.
aneurysm. Josh says hella older than me, not a little bit older.
Hey, kick that guy off the stream. I don't know.
Kick him, remove him, get him out of here. So I wanted to ask you a preliminary question. What is probably the songs on the most rotation right now on your Spotify playlist? I know you and Emily use Spotify just like I do, so I just want to know, what are you guys listening to right now probably the most often?
Well, if you're gonna ask me, it's different than what Emily's listening to, because Emily's always listening to lame stuff. Like, she listens to a lot of Hillsong. I'm just kidding. Well, she does, but she listens to a lot of Lights. She listens to a lot of Hillsong. She listens to a lot of honestly, she listens to a lot of bands that
she's been listening to.
She's super indie and emo, so she listens to all those bands still. I'm just messing around, but she really does listen to, like, I'm gonna read some names off of a playlist that she made, and it's called Songs Emily Likes But Phillip Doesn't, which is very accurate. Mostly. A band called Oceana, a band called Polienzo. Well, she has a lot of Radiohead on here for some reason. First Aid Kit, Vacationer, Person L, Band of Horses, Stars, Emogen Heap, which I don't think is a real band, but that's what she listens to. It sounds like a German death metal band. Okay, so what I've been listening to recently, so I've been having trouble waking up in the mornings. Like, I mean, obviously it sucks waking up early, but like I've had to wake up a whole hour early, which is harder. So I made a playlist called Wake Up Stupid. And I'll read that playlist out to you. So my first song that I got going is Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
exactly. Then I go into Bleed It Out by Linkin Park.
No longer, yeah.
Then I go into Welcome Home, Coheed and Cambria. And then War Pig, Black Sabbath. Then I go into Holy Diver by Dio. And then Walk by Pantera. And then end it with Killing in the Name of by Rage Against.
It takes you this long to wake up in the morning. You have to go through this whole playlist.
No, that's my drive to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I really like that you figured out a way to get you up in the morning, because definitely on the days that I have early shift, I need to get something like that. It's usually just that my alarm sound, I've heard it so much, it pisses me off. And being pissed off just makes me get up, because I can't be pissed off and in bed.
Yeah. You know what alarm I hate is one that goes meh, meh, meh. I can't stand it, dude. Oh my god.
We have Josh. Josh joined the Discord, but he'll have to wait a little bit until we start doing listener questions, I guess you can call it. But right now I'm not going to have him join in, but just for the record, we do have what looks like someone lined up to talk later.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I see him right here in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, anyways, that's a little bit what I've been listening to in the mornings. But in general, I love me some Bruce Springsteen. I love me some Outkast. I love me some I'm trying to look at what I've been listening to, but I don't know, just a lot of stuff. Rod Stewart. Oh, I do it. I'm about to play this song and see if it's gonna get you kicked, but I gotta play this song
by Rod Stewart.
It's the best, dude. Do You Think I'm Sexy by Rod Stewart. I'm telling you, so many people have been created just because of this song. I'm telling you.
All right, Philip.
I'm gonna stop it there.
Yeah, if you keep it going longer, they're gonna remove the audio from my stream for streaming music. Okay, so what I wanted to do, I wanted to ask you, like I said earlier, some questions about. Obviously, we know each other from church and stuff. I wanted to ask you some questions.
Hold on, before we go into questions.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
What did you think about A Quiet Place?
Well, I don't want to do spoilers, but I only liked the first half of the movie. If that's
what
you like that movie a lot?
Yeah, dude, I did like it. I mean, of course, things were predictable, and of course, like suspension of disbelief and all that stuff. But man, it was good. I liked it.
I really did like the first half of the movie. The first half of the movie, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then this chick, oh my god, maybe this contributed to why I didn't like the movie, but this chick in the back corner kept yelling like, oh my god, I was getting so frustrated. I was like, ma'am, please. The movie's like entirely silent, so obviously I don't want to be hearing the audience. And this lady's just crazy. But I think after this isn't super spoilers, but I think after they come back from the waterfall, that's when I started not liking the movie.
Oh, okay.
I know that's when it got all actiony too, but it kind of like changed up too much for me.
Okay. All right.
Is that a pizza or a Dorito, Emily? I'm very confused.
That looks like a Dorito.
It does look like a Dorito.
Yeah. But I don't know, dude. I liked I liked one, just like the cinema photography of it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was shot really well. I like the visuals of like when again I'm not doing spoilers, but like you can see it in the preview, but like the red lights that come on and all the stuff, like even the monster itself was cool looking. It was a little bit CGI. It was a little bit of an issue, in my opinion, for it.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes you out of the movie a little bit, but like I like the pacing of it. I thought it's for me, it's kind of opposite. Like I liked the slow burn, and then once like the whatever happens, like it kind of just like is a relentless, just like explosion of stuff. I thought it was really cool, but obviously to each their own. But I think it was really good.
I definitely didn't think that it was a bad movie. I think that it was a solid movie, and it was a very good movie for Jim from The Office to direct first time, I guess you could say.
You know what? This actually made me think, and I bet you this is what's going to happen, and then Hollywood's going to ruin it. They always do for everything. So first started with Jordan Peele with Get Out, and now we're which made like a $1 billion, and we took 5 steps forward for the Rachel divide is brought together closer. Just kidding, by the way. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's cool to see people who are like would be disenfranchised otherwise, I guess. I don't know. I'm making movies, whatever. Anyways, what I'm saying is that so Jordan Peele started with Get Out, small budget. Yeah, small budget. I thought it was a really solid movie, really good. And then now we go into John Krasinski again, small budget. Making billions of dollars, not billions, obviously exaggerating, but making a lot of money. So the point that I'm making is I bet you they're going to start giving these kind of smaller, less known actors or even creators movies, but eventually they're going to go to like, they're going to give Logan Paul a movie, and this guy's going to make like total crap, or he's just going to be dabbing on like aliens as they come down. So, like, you know, or the rapture is going to happen and he's going to dab on Jesus type of thing, you know, like it's going to be terrible. And so what the point that I'm making is I wonder how long it's going to take until it starts becoming cheap and terrible, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the whole Marvel movie thing has gone way farther than I thought it was. I thought they were going to crap out like, I don't know, 4 movies ago, but they keep making them bigger and bigger.
And they keep going. I thought they were going to wrap it all up after the Infinity War, but it just seems like that's just going to keep going afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think once they kill off a ton of characters, and I think they're breaking this movie into two. I feel like a lot of people are going to get tired of these movies, um, these superhero movies, because like then now you have to learn new characters. Like they have Captain Marvel coming out, and a few others that I don't even know who they are because I'm not that savvy. But I don't know. I just think the general audience might get tired of it. They might, but we'll see. You never know.
Someone get Buddy in here.
I know he's cool as all. Um, Another point I was gonna bring was Solo, the new Solo movie, dude. How excited are you to watch that movie? Like, I know you're so excited, right?
I can gauge my excitement on a negative scale too, right?
Oh shoot, that's total sarcasm, by the way.
That
This
movie looks so bad, so bad.
oh my gosh, the new poster does like barely even has him on there, right? It's all about Lando. Oh man, this movie's gonna blow up.
That trailer, I saw that trailer and I was just like, man, I cannot believe that this got the green light as like
Yeah,
a
I know.
Star Wars movie.
Oh gosh.
Like I didn't like Rogue One, but like that was like a competent movie still. This just seems like it's like a
Yeah.
dumpster fire.
Yeah, well, Rogue One was barely a competent movie. And if it was like a person, it would like have like no legs but three toes connected to ankles. Like it was so bad. Um, so it's just like we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I don't know. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's exactly what I want to do is just talk to you. But the questions that I had prepared for you, let me check my notes here. I don't actually have paper notes. I wish I did. But I wanted to talk to you about, obviously we went to the same church together for a very long time. I don't know how long you went to New Hope, but I went probably like 8 years. So that's how we know each other. But we both no longer go to the same church. And that's because of different reasons that we both don't go. But I wanted to talk to you about why you felt it was time to leave and why and where you're going now in your like religious belief system, I guess, and your growth towards whatever like belief system you have. Has it evolved? Has it changed? Has it gone forward or backwards in your opinion? Stuff like that. I just want to know how you feel about it.
Yeah. Well, that's a very broad question, but let me see. I think something that's been happening recently is I don't know, dude. It's like I'm very much less concerned with religion at this point in my life. And I'm not sure exactly what that means even to myself. Like I'm still wrestling very much with the idea of um like corporate, not corporate, yeah, I guess corporate worship where it's like you're all coming together and stuff, which but I think that's good because I know as people we're like we crave community, even those that don't find it physically. Like we have like the internet now, and we have forums, and we have Twitch, and we have Discord, and all this stuff that brings people that otherwise would never be together.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, like as people, we crave community. Um, so, but I don't know. I don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that I am against church or I'm against anything like that. But I just think there's so much like restriction in church and so much like um you're gonna go to hell type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know, I just think we just need less religion and rules and more like just loving people. But I don't know, I'm just a hippie. What are you gonna I'm just a drug addict here on shrooms all the time, so what do I know? I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah, so I don't know, man. It's just I think as a church we just need to like I think we've done enough condemning people
Mm-hmm.
for the last 100 and or wait when did when did Jesus die? 2000 years ago?
Roughly, yeah.
All right, I think we've done enough condemning for the last 2,000 years. I'm just kidding. Not that long. But I just think I don't know. I just think it's time to start loving people and accepting people. And whatever that means to you, that's what you should do. Um and I don't know. I don't know, man.
I agree with you. I feel like that's a pretty good mission statement or similar opinion to what I hold. But let me you mentioned it was a broad question. Let me go ahead and just break it down into parts and then we can go from there. So we left the church that we were going to the same time as a few other people that we know like Michael Castillo and stuff like that.
Dang, full on last names and everything. Huh?
Well, he's probably gonna be on eventually. So
yeah, Michael Castillo at address is 3. I'm just kidding.
But we left around the same time. But the thing I wanted to focus on is you had said earlier when we were running our sound check and testing stuff that you were gonna tell me. But what exactly made you and Emily feel like it was time for you guys to end your leadership there and move on to maybe greener pastures, maybe not as green pastures, whatever situation you're in now, but to move forward from that church? What was it that made you want to go towards there?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll start this way. So one thing is that I've learned, and I kind of learned this from my last transition, but I for sure it solidified it, is that like um just because like things aren't perfect where you are doesn't mean that it's where you're not at it right at the place you either whether you believe you should be or whether you believe that it's good for you, like because no matter where you go, like that there's problems in everybody. It's because where if you go where there's people, you're gonna have problems because people are problems. Um, it's not in a bad way, but it's just I don't know. Like we us people with our how you say monkey brains. We're all selfish. We're all conceited. We're all looking out for number one. We're all spiteful. We're all angry. And every now and again we like each other. But no, what I'm saying though is that like our I don't know if you
Very conflict heavy.
yeah, exactly. I don't know how much you or anybody who's listening believes that people are inherently evil or not. But in any case, um, like I'm starting to realize that as you realize that if you see people that are just trying to take a step in a different way, like where let's say someone cuts you off in traffic, your initial reaction maybe is to flip them off, tell them F you, or even cut them back off. Like if you even just instead of doing that, just let off your gas and just be like, all right, maybe this guy has chemo that he's trying to get to because he's really sick or something. You know, even just doing that and taking the right step that way, that's kind of hypocritical because you're kind of going against your nature, which your nature is automatically get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I kind of fell off the topic a little bit, but I'll jump back on. Don't worry. So I'm just finding that don't get me wrong. Like I felt like we do feel like it was time for us to move on from there. But one thing that I knew before, but definitely like I said, solidified it, was that that no matter where you go, like there's issues and stuff. And just for in case anybody has like crossroads they're going at, or they think that things are going to be perfect where they go, or even like much better where they go, and they find out that it's not. It's like that isn't necessarily that's not necessarily true. That you taking the different step, taking a step out of the situation you're in, just to come to a situation that maybe isn't like way better. That doesn't mean that step wasn't the right thing for you to take, or you kind of staying in a situation where it's not that great and not taking a step that you could. That also doesn't mean that that's not where you need to be or what you need to be doing. In every situation, no matter where you are, like you can grow. And I think it's just you just got to find those spots where that can happen. But to go back to your question, you said what is it that I guess gave us the the bump, or what why we made the decision.
Yeah.
But in any case, it all comes down to timing, really. Um, Timing, and we just kind of felt like, yeah, timing. We just felt like, both of us, that it was just time for us to move on. Like, we don't really have like hard feelings with people. We don't really hate. We don't. Well, I can't say we don't really. We don't hate anybody from there. We wish everybody the best, but it's just it's like, uh we kind of just, I think we both kind of felt that, um not that like we fell asleep, or that we were just like bored, but we just felt like it was time for change. And and we had opportunity to do it, and we were like, you know what, let's do it. Let's take this step. So we did.
Do you regret any of that decision, I guess, or any of the things that went into factoring that decision? Relationships you had maybe at the old church or anything like that?
Mhm. I think one regret that I do have, and uh like one, like I'll share with you, one time. I'll share with you and whoever else listens. That one time, I was service had just ended, and someone came up to me, and like, this is before we said anything to anybody, that we were that or I we did tell. I think we told like one, maybe two people, and I don't know which one of those people was a rata. Was a rata, someone. One of those two people opens up sandwiches and just eats the cheese. Like, one of those two people. So, anyways, um, we were thinking of leaving, and someone came up to me. One random church member came up to me after, and they were like, "I heard you were leaving," and I was like, "What?" Like, I was like, "Shoot, I might be, but who told you?" Thinking, but I was like, "Where'd you hear that from?" Or I go, "Really?" And then that person goes, "Yeah," and I heard it's because you don't like the pastor. And then even more, I was like, "What?" Like, in my head. And then I go, I one thing that I looked the train in the eye, and I go, "Really? And who told you that?" And I asked straight out, and who told you that? And then their demeanor changed. Like, they weren't expecting for me to ask them who told them. So they were like, "Oh, I don't know." They kind of just like awkwardly mumbled their way and then walked away from me. Um, but I don't know why I even told you that story. But it's very strange, like, the way that conversations move, and it's like, why and where did you get this idea? Who told you? It's one of the two people, and I don't even exactly remember who it was that we had told when that happened, but I have an idea, and I'll call them out later. I'm just kidding. It's over now. Who cares? But but in any case, um, regrets. Let me see. I regret that I do have. I do regret not being more vocal about us leaving, because for some reason
Hmm.
in my mind I thought that, the less I talked about it, and the less that I mentioned it, that the easier it would be. But it was like, it's such a big thing that I should have been way more vocal about it, and like talk to anybody who wanted to hear. Because like, I think there might have been people who thought that we left for reasons of like, frustration or anger or bitterness or something like that. But like, that's not why, yeah, there was frustration, of course, and there's like, a whole change that was going on ever since our previous pastor passed away. And of course, like, we were still hurt from that, because I mean, I'm still hurt from that. I mean, I miss that man. um but um but I regret not being more vocal about us leaving, because like, I think it left some doubt in people's minds, or it might have like, made them think something that wasn't true. Like, I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I don't have any reason to be. But I think people think that I am, or that we are. But I don't know. Yeah. So that's one thing that I do regret, is not being more vocal about it, and being like transparent. Because for some reason, I'm like a real personal person,
Mm-hmm.
private person. I'm a private person. I don't like telling people what's going on with me, not because like I'm embarrassed, but like I'm like my dad in the sense like, why do you got to know? Like why do you got to know? That type of thing, you know? Maybe
Yeah,
it's a I don't know, maybe it's a machismo thing or a Mexican thing, but
just
whatever.
just a Martinez thing.
A Martinez thing. Yeah, I'm not trying to be like like that. I don't care about being machismo and all that stuff. Like that kind of frustrates me sometimes when people won't do things like they won't act silly just because they have to be a man. It's like, well, if being stoic means you're a man, then I don't think you are one, you know?
Yeah,
But whatever.
I could see your point about the not being very vocal about it thing. Obviously, as close as we were in that group and stuff, it was very. You had already told us and stuff like that, and we well, at least I know I wasn't trying to, let that get out and stuff, and I probably would have felt the same way, like leaving. I kept it very personal to myself, and I kind of regret it too. I know I wasn't leaving like you guys, where I wasn't the head of something like that got like a bunch of people to see me and like know me very well and stuff like that. But definitely, I feel like if I went back, a lot of the people would probably feel that I'm coming back even though I don't like them or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's not really true. It was just a difference of opinions and like you said, timing. It was like this was already coming, but I guess they put it off until that time, until there was like a solid reason. You get me?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like already my ties to that, I was already getting worn out, but I was still stringing it along until there was a huge reason to leave, and then I was like, this is going to be my excuse, and then it made me look kind of bad.
Did you ever officially talk to anybody, or did you kind of just bust a like you're at a party and you kind of just like slowly walk towards the door till eventually you're just like outside and you just run to your car and just take off?
I spoke to some of the people that I knew kind of well from the church, but I didn't speak to who you're thinking I probably should have told. I had Justice show leadership. Up to a leadership meeting, and then they were like, "Oh, Alex isn't here," and Justice said, "Oh yeah, he's just not going to be here anymore." And that was it. And I was like, "Oh, he got the point across, so it's fine."
Yeah, you gave Justice power of attorney.
Yeah, basically.
Speaking about you like if you were dead.
My next question would probably be, for you and Emily, how are things going with your guys' walk? I guess that's like a Christianese term, like quote unquote walk. But how is that going with you guys together? Because obviously you guys aren't alone in this. You guys have a very good marriage. You guys are big memers together. So, how do you think that that's going?
Well, for one, I want to talk about the term walk. I actually love it. Like I'm very much recently been taking a step back from like Christian terms, not in the sense of like leaving them, but like actually paying attention to what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange, dude. Very, very strange. Like my walk with God, and it's like, what are you talking about? Your walk, like
that's why I felt weird saying
stuff
it.
like that, like, or I don't know, just stuff like
the word fellowship means anytime you're near another person, regardless of what it's for, right? Like,
dude, we're literally having fellowship right now.
Yeah, basically, like, and that makes sense to people who are very into church and stuff, but that doesn't make any sense to normal people or anything.
It's like fellowship when like we're not in Lord of the Rings right now.
Yeah.
One thing that I do like is when people pray too, and they say, "I decree and declare," and it's like, oh my gosh, like where's the king? What? I got to make a proclamation real quick and sign something into law. It's very strange.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. Answer your question. That's right.
Yeah, I was like, did you forget the question?
No. Walk. I guess we'll just call it marriage. Me and Emily, we are like every couple where we have issues, and a lot of them are because Emily's drunk. I'm just kidding. I'm messing around, of course. Of course, like we do have we do have issues and we do have struggles and stuff like that. But being over here, I think really has brought us a lot closer. Because one thing that happens when you're in a relationship or when you're in ministry is like I don't think you fully realize what you're doing. Like for me personally, I kind of like when I stopped doing ministry, like I realized how neglectful I'd been, not just to Emily, but to like my family, dude. Like there was points where I didn't see them for like 2, 3 months. They lived 30 minutes away from
30
me,
minutes, yeah.
and like it's like, come on, dude, that's ridiculous. Now that I live 3 hours away, I think I see them more often than I did when I lived 30 minutes away. It's
Wow.
like it's so crazy. And it's like I never want to go back, like I love my family, of course, or not, of course, I shouldn't say, because not everybody has families. Respect to those who don't and are grinding on their own. Stay grinding, baby. Anyways,
Oh my god.
I'm messing around. I'm kidding. but what I'm saying though is that like you like I've definitely, since I've been here, realized how much I've been taking like stuff for granted, like especially my wife, family, and my stinking dog. Um, just stuff like that, and taking a step back is really, I think it's been good. I think it really has been good for us. So in that sense, in our marriage sense, I feel like I've never been closer to her. Um, and I'm glad for that. So if I
That's
can say
good.
anything about anything that's happened, it's that my relationship with her has gotten a lot better. I feel like um I don't know, I just feel like I can finally not be like, because one thing that's definitely for sure is that um in ministry, when you're, especially when you're in full-time ministry, you kind of give a lot of yourself. I don't think people fully realize how much time and effort and stuff goes into ministry. I
Hmm.
really don't think they realize that. And so there has to be a trade-off. Like you don't, there's only four, everybody has the same 40 hours. Oh my gosh, look at me, I have a work brain. I have work in the morning too. Anyways, boom, that was
Shout
from,
out.
yeah, shout out. So I, like, we all have the same amount of time in every day, and it's like, well, if you're only spending it at church, it's like, well, I mean, I understand like that it's good, what you're doing is good, but there's a whole thing in Christianity where they say that ministry is your marriage, and people say that and they repeat it a lot, but I don't think they actually, most of them do it. I think a lot of people are actually married first to their ministry, even before they're the god, the entity that they worship. You know,
Hmm.
even before that, I think they say that it goes.
Hand in hand.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just said hand in hand. My bad.
Yeah, exactly. But they say that it goes God, uh, spouse, kids, ministry, but like I think when you're actually in ministry like that, and if you don't have a level head about it, which I don't think, or excuse me, not a level head, if you don't have the help, which a lot of, especially small churches don't, if you don't have the help for it, like it's gonna go ministry over everything. And
Hmm.
and I mean, who wants to like put their name on, this is my ministry, and then it's just failing because you don't have the time to do it because you're spending time with your wife and kids, you know?
Yeah.
like like it's a trade-off. It is, dude, and it's rough. That's why you have so many like pastors' kids who just jump off the deep end. It's because, oh, Poppy was preaching. Poppy wasn't being Poppy.
I mean,
you know?
that's a cliche that sadly holds true for a lot of churches. Is the pastor kid cliche?
Yeah, and it's like, well, it's cliche for a reason, and it's because it's true a lot of times. Not all the time, of course, not all the time. And I'm not going to say it's like that for everybody, but I think the vast majority does have their priorities out of whack. I know I did. Even I didn't. I don't think I had them like extremely out of whack, but I did have them a bit too much for my comfort at least.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people do have them, and they're under this misconception and this guise that they like have their God first, then my wife, then my kids, then my ministry. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's just your ministry over. But I don't know. I'm sure there are people out there who do have it figured out, even at small churches. I don't want to take away credit from them, but from my experience, it's been a lot of that. But
Yeah, it seems. Sorry to interrupt, but it
no, you're
seems
good.
like small churches got it locked down on stuff like that, like balancing it well. It feels like you go to small churches and there's not as much, in my experience, as much problems with leadership and stuff. Because if there's only 20 people, it's much easier to manage than 200. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I think we're thinking differently because in my mind, like a church of 200 is actually kind of a smaller church. Um,
I mean,
but
like
I understand what
Selma
you're saying.
small churches.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're like, okay. Yeah. I understand exactly. And I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. So churches of like upwards of like 150, 200, that's where like the problems start happening because even like our own brains, like I think we're only able to remember or even like remember like with accuracy 150 faces. I think it's
Mhm.
because like when we were in tribes like back in like 15,000 years ago or whatever, we only had tribes about that much, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's why. So once they start getting bigger than that, it's kind of like, I don't
Okay.
know.
One last question I have for you. If you're done talking about that topic, are you okay?
No, yeah, I'm good. Go ahead, let's go.
Okay. I got one last question related to church stuff directly, and then we can do some closing questions and have some people ask stuff if they want to.
All
Um,
right.
my last question is: what do you think what is your biggest issue with churches nowadays, and to a lesser extent, conservatives and right leaning politics and stuff? I guess that's kind of broad, but that's kind of the category I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Is in churches, the way modern times are and stuff. What do you think your biggest issue with them is, and what would you like to see change?
Yeah. Um. Dang, how much time do you have? I'm just kidding. No. Like, dude, I stinking one thing that I'm learning is how much I hate politics. And
Uh-huh.
it's not even because, and like, dude, like, hardcore right wingers are some of the worst people ever. Uh, and you know what else is terrible? Hardcore left wingers. Those are some of the worst people too. But the thing is, like, they're not even bad people. Like, you meet them in person, and they're so sweet on the left and the right. They're so nice. Like if they see an animal hurt on the side of the road, they'll both pull over to help the animal. If they see someone getting mugged, like they'll call the cops, and if that person gets hurt, they'll make sure they get help. But if they're a right winger, they find out that they're illegal. Will they call CNS on them or CNS? Will they call
CNS.
CNN on them? Will they call Child Protective Services on them? No. Will they call immigration on them? Or if they're a left winger and that happens, and it happens to be like a ISIS terrorist, will they say, "Oh no, they need to be accepted"? Like obviously there's big gaps in the middle, and it's like the thing is it's hard, like because it's hard because I don't identify with either of those. Like why? And the thing is like why is it that people have such a hard time having opposing ideas in your head? You know, like why is it that let's go here because it's a hard one, and I don't know. No, I'm not gonna go there. Trouble for speaking my mind. Let me see. Let me find a different. Like, okay, let's go with immigration. Why is it such a hard idea to think that we do need some kind of border security? So that we don't like get I don't know, overrun, I guess. Why is it so hard to think that we do need like better, especially now you're seeing like all the craziness with ICE and stuff. So we do need some kind of better policy for sure. And like we can't just have like people randomly coming in whenever. But why is it hard to have the opposing idea that you can't be splitting up families? Like you have to
Hmm.
have compassion for people that are just trying to have a better life for themselves. Why is it that you can't wrestle with these ideas and realize that what, life is difficult and there is no easy answer, and we just have to try to do the best that we can. But no, because I'm a Republican, I believe that you got to build the wall. No, because I'm a liberal, I believe you have to let everybody in. It's like, well, come on, dude. Like let's You don't even have to come together. I hate the term "let's agree to disagree." No, shut up. No, you don't. Let's just fix this issue. And there might not be an easy fix. You might not make everybody happy, but do something instead of nothing. Oh yeah, that brings me up to guns too. Oh my gosh, guns, dude. Stinking guns, dude. Oh, it's so upsetting. It's like, again, another opposing ideal. Why is it hard to think that people's rights, people do have rights, and like, it's in the Constitution, all this. Why is it hard to think too that you can't have people with these crazy guns gunning down people? Like, I don't understand. Like, are you that close-minded and that narrow-minded? You can't hold two opposing ideas in your head,
Mhm.
and you can't wrestle with things. It has to be one or the other. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people can just agree with it. And like, why can't you hold on to even let's go Donald Trump. Why can't you hold on to the fact that one opposing idea, this guy's a complete idiot and a moron, and the other side idea, this guy's actually kind of funny sometimes, but, like, I don't know, dude. It's weird. It's very strange. Life's hard. It's harder. I think what the issue. I think, and I've been thinking about that. I think what the issue is. Okay, so you get the average person. The regular person goes to work early in the morning. They come home later. They have 4 hours or less with their kids before they got to say goodnight. They put their kids to sleep. They put themselves to sleep. They wake up, and what do? The same thing again. They wake up. They go to work. They come home later. Put their kids to sleep. They put themselves to sleep. They go to sleep. They wake up and do the same. They do that 5 days a week. And on Saturday they have sports. Sunday they go to church in the morning, or Sunday they sleep in. And then they have one day, and then they always complain, "Hey, I need a day between Friday. It needs to be a day between Saturday and Sunday, right? Ha ha! Last one was the water cooler. Shut up, and you're gonna do it again." All right. So now tell that person to hold two opposing ideas in their brain. That is only thinking about, I got to make ends meet. I got to make sure Linda has her soccer jersey washed. I got to make sure that little old Georgie boy isn't going to embarrass me and not catch the ball on Friday. Like, so you got to think of that person, and how much time do you think they have to have these two opposing ideas? Or is it easier just to say, yeah, I'm more right leaning. So I'm just going to agree with everything the right says. Or I'm more left leaning. I'm just going to agree with everything the left says. So I understand that, I understand not being able to have the time or the energy even to be able to hold these opposing ideas. But it's like, I don't know. I understand it. I don't really forgive it, but I understand it. And I don't know, man.
No,
I
I
don't know
get
where
you.
I'm going with it. Yeah, but
You're just rambling.
yeah, I'm like a crazy old man right now, dude.
It's fine. It's fine. I like it. That's why I knew it'd be great. I wanted to. There was a tangent. Justice is in the chat, so I'm pretty sure he might be watching. But he brought up a good point when we were discussing something at work, and it reminded me right now when you're talking about it. Do you think that there is a place for politics in, like, a service and stuff like that? Like, obviously the people in church are going to hold political ideals and different stuff, but do you think that there's a place for, like, pastors of bigger churches, people who have, like, power over these people, to be, like, expelling their beliefs onto the other people, when it's not something really related to the core principles of what they're supposed to be teaching? Because a pastor's supposed to be teaching the Bible and stuff like that. And so when you teach someone about that stuff and tell them what you believe about that, that makes more sense. But if there's not guns in the Bible, there's not all this other stuff like politics, do you think that should be brought up in churches or left out of, like, sermons, I guess?
Let me see. I think there is and there isn't. Well, obviously. I mean, why can't you hold two opposing ideals, Alex? What's your problem?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm joking. No, I think the thing is, it's hard because, again, now the whole scenario that I told you is still true, because about a person who has no time to think about anything else, and then now add on that person is a pastor and how much less time they have. So generally churches lean to the right. So I want to say yes, and I want all right. So let's think about it then. So generally they're going to be right leaning, and they're probably going to be saying things that are only leaning to the right. Well, if you have people in your congregation that are left leaning, even slightly, you might off put them. And generally, what you can do is you can put a bad taste in their mouth, and they don't want to come back because they're like, well, that pastor's a bigot.
Hmm.
Even though the pastor's not, I'm sure the pastor loves his people, but they could think that. Anyways, um, so let's see. I think there is and there isn't. I think it depends on the circumstance because so let's say like you were like I remember when when Donald Trump was running for the presidency. Um, I remember seeing some videos that Mike Pence made. And Mike Pence has been a devout Christian for a long time now. At least that's my understanding of him for years. And I think I remember looking it up when the election was actually happening. He's been a devout Christian for a long time. So Mike Pence made a video and was pretty much just like a propaganda piece. And I know the word propaganda has a negative connotation, but I really don't mean it negatively right now. It was pretty much, I guess, a promo
I
for Donald
believe
Trump and him.
I believe I know what video you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. They were playing that in churches and just saying how
Hmm.
much God loves America and Donald Trump loves God. But it's like I'm pretty sure actually if I call and looked it up, Donald Trump, I don't know if he was an atheist as much as he never once spoke about it. And he was actually left leaning in like a ton of stuff that he would talk about. Um,
Hmm.
so I really think that Donald Trump is not a Christian at all, and I think he just is playing to his fan base. And I also think he's not a moron. I think he's actually a really smart guy. I think he's self-absorbed, of course, and even delusions of grandeur. I mean, while he's a billionaire, so I don't know if they're delusions as much as he has like uh, notions of grandeur. Um, but anyways, so in that sense, no, I don't think that could be politics like that. Like, come on, you're pretty much like telling the Christians to vote for this guy. Um, like, and it's like, well, what does he actually believe? Why are you doing? Why are you voting for him? Is it just because he's a Christian? Um, anyways, so I, in some senses, no, like that, like, nah, dude, don't play promos in your church for a politician.
Hmm.
No, leave it out. But then there's another sense, and this one's gonna sound harsh, but I don't. Again, it's the opposing ideals, because personally, like, well, no, I'm not gonna bring that one up because again, let me see. And personally, yeah, I do think sometimes it is like a thing that you should be bring it up in church because I know there was laws that are potentially going to go into place that are going to put restrictions on what the church can and can't teach. Um,
Hmm.
and again, like I don't have a problem with what they have opposed problems with. The church has problems with generally. I really don't. Um, in a lot of different things. Um, but I know a lot of churches are very religious, set in their ways, and like, all right, let's take for instance, Westboro Baptist. All right,
Uh-huh.
so they believe that that soldiers are going to hell when they die. Um, now, do I agree with that? No, I don't. Do I think they have every right to? Yes, I do. Now, there's a law that's going to go into place that might stop them from doing that because they could consider it being like offensive or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I remember reading it, and I don't think that's right. So, do I think that the churches should, even though it might only affect Westboro Baptist Church at the time, right now? Who knows when it's going to start affecting the Christian church or the Muslim church or the Jehovah's Witness church or whatever.
Hmm.
So I think there is times where politics do need to be put into church because that's something that absolutely needs to be voted on and even against. Like I think everybody should be able to say whatever they want to say, and I think you could be ridiculed for it. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think you could be considered a jerk. That's okay because some people are jerk. Um, but I don't think that there should be a law that stops people from saying it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for hate speech violations and like stuff like that. Like, you can't like you can hate someone all you want, but when you make it all public and like ridicule them publicly for something they have no control over, like skin color or something like that, it's like, come on, dude, you can't hate someone over that and like even threaten to hurt them. Yeah, you need to go to jail for that. But like, you could say, I hate you because you're Mexican. Okay, you didn't hurt me. You're just being a jerk. Okay, but I don't think, like, if someone told me that, I don't think they should go to prison. I think they should just slowly die a slow, painful death. I'm just kidding. No,
Okay.
You get what I'm saying though. Like,
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, I think it's case by case. It just depends on what it is. Again, I ramble on just to say that it's case by case. It depends what it is. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But because I don't know, it's just, yeah, it just depends on what it is.
I see Justice has a good point here in chat. He says, I'm pretty sure giving political opinions from a pulpit in a denominational church is against all of the bylaws of the denomination. Politics are too polarizing in church. That's what Justice says. And I kind of agree. I mean, isn't there like a denominational, isn't it a big deal for denominational pastors to follow the denominational bylaws?
I think it just depends on the church. I don't know if
That's true.
the PCG has bylaws against it. I'm sure some do, but I guarantee you some don't.
Emily says freak denominations. Okay. I'm
wait, hold on. That's not grammatically correct. So is she saying that freak denominations do or don't have?
No, she just said freak denominations as in general. I think freak denominations.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Good.
I think she said freak. I meant demons. So freak demons. Closing statements. Does anyone, if anyone in the chat has any questions? I don't think we're gonna do the call-in segment unless someone really wants to.
Where's
but
Josh?
I know, where's Josh? If anybody has any questions, if you could please post them, I'll go ahead and ask them to Phillip. But Phillip, closing statement from you. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the audience, or anything specifically that you'd like to promote, or like what's a strong thing that you want everyone who listens here to get?
Let me see. I guess I could just give you guys a little update. So I did Instagram Live. We spoke about that before the stream started. I am starting to get more into crafting type stuff.
Okay.
So, I barely started, but it's super fun. But I don't know. I just wanted to let y'all know that just update about me. Something that I did yesterday was I built a bar stool, and I really wish I didn't build that bar stool because it is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my stinking life. It's so bad.
Oh, you're gonna have to post a picture of it or something, man. That's great.
Dude, I can't bring myself to do it. It's so bad. It's like I don't have the right tools to do it. I don't have the right screws, and like excuses, of course. But I keep telling myself, like, you have to just do it. You know, if you want to get good at it, you have to do it. So, so one thing that I have been thinking about is taking steps, like taking steps slowly that will make your life better. So like a lot of us, we oh no. Let's say this. Okay, so one thing that I heard today that was amazing, and it's is that so let's say that me personally, let's say I went to this guy, he's a shaman, and this shaman literally teleported behind me, and then the shaman blew bubbles, and the bubbles turned into unicorns, then they popped and disappeared, and let's say that he stinking flew 5 feet in the air and then landed on his hands and then did a backflip and did crazy miracles. And then I was like, wow. And like this, let's say this shaman was world renowned for having like some deep insight. And then he did all this stuff to prove to me that he's worthy to give me advice. And then he looks me right in the eyes and he goes, "You should jog more. You might like it." Like, I would, like, you know what I would do? I would be like, "Oh, you're right. I should." But I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't jog more. So the point that I'm making is like, it doesn't matter what anybody else tells you until you personally get the drive to do it. And like you start, I guess, hating yourself enough. I don't know what it is. Until you figure out that you need to make your life better, then you're gonna do it. So, what the point that I'm making is like, get yourself to that point where you realize that I should jog more, or you know what, I do want to make some money, so I should probably go back to school, or whatever. Whatever that it means for each individual person.
That setup was so great. Oh, I love it. All right, well, I'll close it here. I want to thank you, Phillip, a lot for giving me your time and your energy. It was great talking to you. Of course, I miss you. I miss hanging out with you.
I miss you too, buddy.
If you guys are coming down soon, let me know. It'd be great to hang out. But I want to thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for listening. Hopefully, I'll be able to get this edited soon and uploaded somewhere. And then we can all start this together, and then I'll be setting up my next interview after that. Will you have something to say, Phillip?
No, I was just gonna say, next one I'll have my camera set up and everything, and you guys can watch me be a creep as I talk to you again, if I ever talk to you again.
Yeah, if I interview you again, I'll see if anybody wants me to do video to video, and then maybe we can set that up.
All right, dude.
Okay,
that's great.
I love you, Phillip, and I love everybody for listening. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I hope everybody has a good night.